Hello friends, today we are going to look how to sew a flutter butterfly cuffed sleeve blouse. Before moving on to the concept, we will look few instructions on how to print your PDF patterns. First of all, you should print out your pattern in its actual size. So under the option page size, click onto the actual size, and that's how you will get out your real size pattern out. There is one more thing to be noted is the orientation of the sheets. All you need is to click onto auto and you can get your actual size pattern. What if if you do not have option known as auto, and by the time you should look into your cutting instruction sheet for the orientation. Just check whether it's portrait or landscape orientation. If it's a portrait orientation, click onto portrait, and that's so simple as that. Or if it is in landscape orientation, click onto landscape, and yes, you can now print to get the actual size pattern out. So next we will move on to PDF paper cutting. Here we are going to cut off the unwanted edges by connecting the matching signs. In this process, I'm going to connect these 4 matching signs. Match it by drawing lines which connects one sign to the other. First of all, align the PDF sheets according to the instruction sheet given. And here I arrange it in portrait form. Once when you arrange the sheets, make sure that you arranged it properly according to the instruction sheet given. You should then start connecting the matching signs. Connect it all and cut them off. Once it's done, you should stick them up together with the reference of the instruction sheet. Stick them up properly to get the actual size patterns. And finally, when you stick them up all together, you can check and confirm whether you have printed it out properly in its real size. So you can check it out as I do. I here check few measurements on the sheet, and look, it's the same when I measure it. To ensure it, I'm going to cross-check few more measurements. Just have a look whether it meets the measurement or not. When it does not meet the measurement on the sheet, then the printout which you have taken may not be in its real size. So at the time you can follow the printing instructions which I said you at the beginning of the video. So yes, the printout that I have taken is in its real size. And you can now cut out the pattern. Yes, start cutting out the pattern along the cut line. And here is the actual size pattern ready. It's done, and next we are going to trace those patterns on the fabric. Since we are having fold at the front, fold both the main fabric and the inner lining and trace out the front pattern by having it at fold. Then provide a seam allowance of 0.50 inches all around. Pin it up and cut down the pattern along the seam line drawn. Next, we will trace out the front cup portion, have the fabric at fold, and place the pattern in a way that you have to do a cross-cutting. And mark seam allowance of 0.50 inches along the princess curve, in the bottom and along the armhole, then 1 inch at the side. Now you can pin it up and cut it down, and you will get the front body parts ready. Same way, have the fabric unfold and trace out the pattern. Provide seam allowance of 0.50 inches at the bottom, center back, along the neck, the shoulder and in the armhole, and 1 inch at the side. Then pin it up and cut it along the seam line drawn. So we have got our back body 2. Next is your sleeves. Take 2 pieces of cloths, fold both the pieces into 2 and have them together. Then place the pattern along the fold. Trace out the pattern and provide seam allowance at armhole and at the bottom. Then cut it out. And next we are going to trace out the sleeve cuff. Take 4 pieces of cloths and we are going to trace out the pattern on it. Trace it out. Provide seam allowance of 0.50 inches all around. And cut it down along the seam line. So these are the patterns that we have traced out in the fabric. Make cuts along the notch mark provided. So all the patterns are ready. We are now going to start stitching. First of all, I will start stitching the back body darts. Stitch along the dart lines at the back. Once you are done with the stitching, iron them well along the seams of the dart. So we have made our back body ready. Then we will move on to the front body. Here you have to attach both the parts of the front body, the front and the cup along the princess seam line. Make sure you sew slowly and properly along the curve. You can make double stitch to make it even more secure. Then make sure you stitch along the center dart too. Repeat the same on your main fabric too. Then start pressing the seam upon the stitches along the princess curve and on the center dart too. And here is your front body ready. Now we will start attaching the front and back bodice together at the shoulders. First, attach the inner lining. Have good sides of both the front and back body together and sew upon the shoulders. Then repeat the same on the main fabric too. Then you can have both the main fabric and inner lining together, where it's good sides facing each other. You should sew them along the neck, starting from one side of the center back neck to the other side. Make sure you make cuts at the neck along the outer edges. Then invert them and iron well. You will get a good finish at the outer side. Once it's done, we will finish off the bottom edges. Have a cut piece of 2 inches. Sew them up together upon the outer side. And then flip them towards the inner side. Then make a double fold and provide a stitch. So repeat the same at the bottom of the back body too. And next, all that we have to do is to attach hook holds. So now we are going to make plackets with V-shaped hook holds. I here have a cut piece of 4 inches. I double fold them, make stitches at both upper and lower bottoms of center front length. Then invert them inside out. You should get them stitched up with the inner side at the center back. Then flip it outwards and provide V-stitches. On the other side, sew it along the outer side. Flip it inwards, double fold and make a top stitch. Make a stitch on the other side too. And here is where you are going to provide hooks by hand stitch. So next we will move on to the sleeves. First we will make our sleeve cuffs ready. I'm here going to use micro dot foam and fuse them well with the fabric of the cuff, so this gives some stiffness to the cuff part. Having the inner side of the fabric and the fusible side of the foam with micro dots together, iron them well. Once when you get to see that the foam is infused well with the fabric, cut down the unwanted foam from it. And thus your cuff is ready to get stitched. Next to the butterfly sleeves, the finish of the sleeve edges I here use electric Usha Janome Dream Stitch Machine, and I turn my stitch regulator to F, where I get a rolled hem. Start sewing along the edges of the sleeve. Look at the edges. As I said you before, it's the rolled hem. Now we are going to attach the cuff to the sleeve. Place one piece under the sleeve and the other one upon the sleeve as I do. Then pin it up together. Before sewing it, I'm going to provide a loop at a side. So stitch those loops as I do. Then stitch the cuffs together. And now you can flip it out. And at the bottom, fold both the pieces inside and pin it up together. Finally, make top stitch all around at the edges of the cuff. Repeat the same on the other sides, so that the sleeves will be ready. So before attaching the sleeves to the body, we will close the side seams of the body. Since the sleeve armhole is a continuous round, we are going to attach it the same way along the armhole. Once you complete closing your side seams, we are going to attach the sleeves, continuous in a round. So we got our sleeves attached to the body. And with this we have got our final product ready. I hope you might all have enjoyed. Happy sewing! Thank you.